Aku, why am I scared of water? Asked Kamu. Aku thought for a moment and then replied, It's because you can't swim. It's your weakness. Weakness? What's a weakness? Asked Kamu. Kamu, you have a fear of water. Whenever you see water, you feel scared. If you could swim, would you be scared of water? Replied Aku. Kamu looked confused. Is it because I am little that I have a weakness? Asked Kamu. No, we all have weaknesses. Even I have some, replied Aku. A weakness can mean many things. It could be a weak point about you. It could be that you don't know when to say yes and when to say no. It could be that you don't know when to ask for help. It could be something you are not very good at, he added. Kamu looked surprised. Aku, but you're big and strong. Even you have weaknesses, asked Kamu. Aku smiled and replied, Yes, I do. What weakness do you have? Asked Kamu. Aku thought for a moment. Would Kamu laugh if he shared his weaknesses with her? Hey, I can't read. That's a weakness, said Aku. Kamu looked towards Aku. He was right. Aku couldn't read. Aku, you can't read, but I can't count. That's another weakness that I have, said Kamu. Kamu was right. Not being able to count was a weakness. See, Kamu, we all have weaknesses, but it's not a bad thing. You can learn to overcome your weaknesses, said Aku. Kamu smiled. If you can overcome a weakness, why is it still called a weakness? She thought to herself. Come on, Kamu, let's go to the play area and have some fun, said Aku. Kamu was quick to agree. She always enjoyed playing in the park. Aku and Kamu headed off to the play area. As they arrived in the play area, Aku walked towards the play pool. There was a sign next to the play pool. Kamu, look! This sign shows you how deep the water is, said Aku as he pointed to the sign. See, it's not very deep. You should always check to see how deep it is and put your safety first, said Aku. Aku walked over to the sandpit and drew a sign in the sand. Mama always told me to avoid this sign as it means danger. She always said that you should be very careful and never play near water on your own. You should always have a grown-up with you who can swim, said Aku. Aku walked into the play pool and stood in it. See, Kamu, the water isn't too deep. Here, hold my hand and step into the water, said Aku as he put out his hand and reached for Kamu. Kamu joined Aku in the play pool and held Aku's hand. Brrr, it's cold, said Kamu. Don't worry, you will warm up soon, replied Aku. As Kamu became comfortable, Aku started to teach her how to swim. Kamu enjoyed the swimming lesson and had lots of fun. Aku was a good teacher. Aku and Kamu got out of the play pool and dried themselves. Aku, let's go to the sandpit. Now it's my turn to play teacher, said Kamu. Kamu ran to the sand area and started to draw in the sand. Kamu drew 3-letter sequences in the sand. Aku, can you guess the missing letters? Asked Kamu. Aku scratched his head as he couldn't remember the letters. Kamu, will you help me? Asked Aku. Sure, let's start with line number 1. It's the curly letter that sounds like a place where there's lots of water, smiled Kamu. Aku looked puzzled. Where could you find lots of water? The sea! It's sea! Shouted Aku. Correct. Well done, Aku. Now the next line, said Kamu. It's the kicking letter, joked Kamu. Kicking letter? Thought Aku. What could that be? This was proving to be fun. Ah, K, replied Aku. He was getting better and better. Aku, how about line 3? This letter makes you feel very cross, said Kamu. Aku scratched his head. A letter that makes you cross? All of a sudden Aku jumped up and down. Got it! Got it! It's X! Shouted Aku. Kamu smiled. Aku had got it right again. See, Aku, you're getting better. Just like I'm getting better at swimming, you're getting better too, said Kamu. Aku was right. You can overcome your weaknesses if you try. Aku realized that Kamu will not make fun of him, as she is his friend and cares about him. He decided to share another weakness with her. Kamu, I have another weakness. If I need help, I will not ask anyone, said Aku. Aku, why don't you ask anyone if you need help? Asked Kamu. What will others think? A big polar bear asking others for help? It will make me look weak, replied Aku. Kamu remembered what Papa always said. Papa always said that if you ask for help, it doesn't make you weak, and it isn't wrong. In fact, it makes you strong because you know when you need help, said Kamu. Sometimes we think we can overcome our problems by ourselves, but we can't, and we don't ask for help until it's too late, added Kamu. Aku, you're right. You can overcome your weakness and turn it into a strength. It's magic, said Kamu. Aku looked confused. How can I turn this into my strength? He asked. Knowing when to ask for help and not being afraid to ask for help will make you a better, stronger person, replied Kamu. Aku, you don't have to feel scared anymore, said Kamu. Kamu, you're right. I can't read, but with your help I can learn to read, said Aku. Yes, Aku, I can't count, but with your help I can learn to count, replied Kamu. You're scared of water, but if I help you learn to swim, you won't be scared any more, said Aku. Aku and Kamu laughed. Kamu was not a good listener. If she had listened to her parents, she wouldn't be lost. But that is a weakness which isn't there any more. She has Aku and she listens to Aku. He is funny at times, but he always tries to help her. Aku and Kamu were learning to help each other as a team. Aku and Kamu both made mistakes, especially when they didn't listen to their parents, but they have learnt. Aku listens to Kamu as he knows she is his friend and is there to help. Kamu, don't be upset now. We all make mistakes. If we didn't, how would we learn? Said Aku. Aku, you're right. It's just like if we didn't have any weaknesses, how could we become strong? Replied Kamu. Aku, how do you know if you have a weakness? How do you know what your weakness is? Asked Kamu. Aku shrugged his shoulders, sat down, and looked confused. Kamu also looked confused. That's a good question, Kamu. Let's think about it together, replied Aku. Kamu, The hardest part is admitting that we have a weakness, because we all think we are perfect, said Aku. That's true, Aku. We think by admitting that we have a weakness, others will laugh at us, but that isn't true, replied Kamu. A weakness could be something that we are not good at. But Mama used to say that my weakness was sleeping and playing, said Aku. Aku, how can that be a weakness? I like playing and I love my sleep too, said Kamu. Sometimes too much of a good thing can be bad for us. Too much sleep isn't good for us. Playing too much is also not good, said Aku. Kamu smiled. Aku was beginning to sound like Mama and Papa. Remember, if you played less and did your schoolwork, you would be able to count, said Aku. Aku, you remind me of Mama and Papa, laughed Kamu. Remember, everyone is different. Everyone is born different. You and I are very different, said Aku. Being tall or short isn't a weakness, it's how you are, added Aku. I'm quicker than you, but it doesn't mean that you can't be quick, replied Kamu. I'm stronger than you, but that doesn't mean that you can't be strong, said Aku. Aku and Kamu laughed. They were both very different. Remember, Aku is a polar bear and Kamu is a koala bear. Kamu, you can't stand still. You always want to play, even when I am feeling very tired, said Aku. Aku, you're my friend. I know exactly what's wrong. I can help you become less tired and have more energy. Then you can keep up with me, smiled Kamu. Aku smiled and stuck out his thumb. Friends, he said. Kamu smiled and grabbed Aku's thumb. From now on, that was going to be a sign of their friendship.